Ninja and Flannel. If you're tired of getting burned off your hot suppressor, or you're tired of looking at and buying those super expensive suppressor covers that generally don't even last, you're in the right place. Because today, I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to build your own suppressor cover that will actually last and it won't cost you very much at all. So first off, if you're new to suppressors, you need to know that these get really, really hot, like 3rd degree burn level of hot. So, I mean, you shoot 2 30-round mags maybe, and you won't even be able to touch it. So then you're trying to switch it from gun to gun, and you're burning your hand on it. You're trying to use one of those little oven mitt things, and it's just the worst.
This is the worst.
So I would say a suppressor cover is not so much like a tactical thing. It's like a necessity. So, don't burn your crap, use a wrap. But anyway, so let's get right into it. But before that, I want to do a little word for my sponsor of today's video, which is called Aura. So I protect my home, my family, and all of my physical crap with stuff like this, 2 German Shepherds. But the digital world, that doesn't work so well, and it's becoming more complicated. So I've been relying on Aura for all of that stuff. So Aura provides protection for identity theft, financial fraud, and they give you virus protection, which is super cool. I think they have like $1 million insurance coverage on it, which is more than I need, frankly. But then they also have VPN, which is really cool. It comes with the package, as well as they removed your phone number from spam callers. That's the biggest thing for me, because my phone used to ring off the hook all the time, and now I don't really get any. It's pretty awesome. So check it out. There's going to be a link in the description as well as the comment section, so you can sign up for a 14-day free trial and see how it works for you, see who's stolen your data.
All right, so back to the reason you clicked on this video. Here's the suppressor wrap that I built. Now, the biggest thing with these wraps is just the material. And looking at the existing wraps on the market, I realized the materials they were using are really not ideal. So I kind of just went on a quest trying to figure out what the best option was for materials. And as it turns out, Kevlar is the best option. Kevlar innately has an 850 degree temperature range before the material starts to break down. So I have had this on here for, I want to say, maybe since 2019, and this is my original build. This is Mark 1. That's why it looks so rough. I wanted to show you guys what it looks like the first time you build one with no experience. So this is Mark 1, and it is still working perfect after a lot of rounds. So let me show you a little bit about it. So what this is for a fastening system, I sewed a bunch of loops into the Kevlar, and then I just laced it up with a boot, like a boot. This cord is Kevlar. The thread is also Kevlar. So basically I laced it all the way through. At the end, you pull it tight, wrap it around as tight, basically as tight as you can get it. I'm doing it kind of roughly right now for the sake of the video. All the way down. When you get to the end, you tie your knot. So improvements to this design, on the next one I build, I think I will take small strips of this Kevlar and sew them a little further back here as just kind of maybe 3 giant loops instead of all these little ones. It might be a little more effective. So anyway, so that's the start of where this came from. Now we'll get into more of the structure of how to build it.
So one little disclaimer is that it is going to cost a little more than $15 for your initial purchase of all the materials, because you're buying more than you need of each roll. Like, you're buying a roll of thread rather than exactly what you need. But once you make that purchase, you can make so many wraps, it comes out to about $15 per wrap, just to be transparent.
So this part's gonna be pretty simple. I'll have a print at the end of the video that you can screenshot with some instructions and a little bit of a sketch. But basically, you're gonna measure the length that you want the wrap to cover. For me, it would be this range right about here. And then diameter, you're gonna take the diameter of your can and then subtract a 1/4 inch to give the wrap room to tighten and cinch around your can so it secures properly. Make sure you subtract that 1/4 inch or it may not secure. So when you take that measurement, you're gonna cut 6 pieces of this fabric if you want to mirror mine, which is decent. It could actually be thicker, but I like that it dissipates a little heat by not having too many layers. So anyway, you'll cut 6 layers of this material at that measurement. The 7th one, you're gonna wanna cut 1 inch wider and 1 inch longer. That way, when you go to sew the last one on, you can fold a 1/2 inch around either side. And that way it gives you this nice factory looking edge rather than all 6 layers just poking out there. So make sure your last one's a little bigger, and then you lay them all over top of each other before you start sewing. So at this point, you've got your 6 inner layers cut, your 7th one cut, 1 inch longer and wider, and you can fold all the edges around like this, and that's when you can begin your sewing. So, I mean, I'm not gonna teach you how to sew too much. You basically put on your needle, tie a knot at the end of your string, and then just go in and out all the way around. Not really my forte, but I succeeded here. Now, as far as what you need for that, I use a regular leather sewing needle and a pair of pliers, and I'm gonna tell you, it was awful. I nearly stabbed myself several times and it took me forever. So somebody else recommended to me to use a sewing awl kit, which gives you this handle and the needle. It's a different type of stitching that I would have to learn, but apparently this is the way to go. So I have a link in the bottom of the description as well for this, so you can check that out. And then the other thing is that when cutting these, you're gonna destroy basically every pair of scissors you have. So like I did, actually. I destroyed all my scissors. So you're gonna wanna go and in the link in the description as well, and there are Kevlar cutting scissors that are designed for this. I think they're about 20 bucks. You'll have to buy ones and it'll make your life a lot easier, and you'll be able to do a bunch of these. So as far as putting it together, that's pretty much it for the sewing part, other than sewing all these little eyelets. But like I said before, I would probably recommend sewing little, almost like belt loops on here of this same material as a better thing to fasten to. So last, I'll show you how mine actually secures on. And I am way open to if somebody else has a better option, because it's difficult to find an option that's not gonna mar up your can like it's made of metal, and that's also going to hold it tight enough. So if you guys get a better idea than me, I'm sure there's a lot of creative people out there, let me know in the comments, because I am open to suggestions. So to get this on here, you wrap it around your can, kind of like lacing up a work boot. You just start pulling all these strings tight everywhere. Get it as tight as you can get it. And I really just have it laced back and forth all the way through. This little center piece for mine is actually important. So you get this as basically as tight as you can get it. Then you're going to start on one side and wrap it around. Now this part, you want to get this as tight as possible, because this actually gives you a lot of your tension. Now I actually put it behind my threads. It helps lock it on so it doesn't slip over the end here. And then you just basically let it track right next to itself all the way around. On the other side here, you do the same thing. Get it pulled crapping tight, and then just start spinning it around, tracking next to itself. So when you get both of them coiled on, you're going to have one end coming this way over this center rope, and one coming this way. So what you're going to do is, you're going to take this one, feed it under, pull it back. This one, feed it under, pull back this way, and then this is where you're going to get your final tension out of it. You're just going to pull this super tight. And then I just do the basically the beginning of your shoelace knot twice and call it a day. And boom, that's your wrap. Now, as you can see, this will spin I guess maybe it ain't spinning. This will kind of move, but if you let it cinch in like this, let it kind of twist on itself, it becomes rock solid. And the little tassels here, I actually just kind of keep tying them until they disappear. And usually I'll try and orient this so it's down once the can is locked on my weapon. That way it's not like, you know, sticking these little rabbit ears up in your sight. I just do this a couple times, and there she goes. Like I said, if you guys figure out a better fastening system for this, I am open to suggestions, because this is, like I said, my just Mark 1. So once that's on there, I'm dropping all my crap. Take your can, and she's on. Nice and solid. There you are. You got your $15 suppressor wrap, and it will last you years.